Hey Max Impactors, today we're going to show you how to make this here. We're going to make some storage shelves for your basement. This is a quick and easy way to make shelves. They're really sturdy and we're going to show you how it's done. Let's go over the material you're going to need. So this unit we made 6 feet high on the sides here, and it's 4 foot across, and in the front here is another 6 foot across, and then we got the 4 corners. And if you look at the corners, I made it angled, so one's one way and the other's the other way. And if you measure it right, you could actually get it so this plywood sits right down into this corner. Now I didn't do that. I took a little extra space, so I'm going to show you how to make it so it fits exactly in, or you could just do it the way I do it. But this is basically the completed shelf. It's really sturdy, and as you can see, we already have a lot of bins on it, and we're going to make a second one. Alright, so I'm a little cramped in here, so I'm going to try to show you the stuff that you're going to need to buy in order to make this. What we did is we went to the store and we bought these. We have 6 of these, or no, 8 of these, and these are 8 foot long pieces, 2x4s, and then we had to get 7. And we got a larger size. We got 12 foot 2x4s. Now what I did is we had them cut up at the store so that they would fit in our car. Also, you're going to need some plywood. The plywood's going to have to be 4x6. Now these come in 8 foot pieces. I had them cut into 2 foot by 4 foot so that we could fit them in our car. If you have a bigger truck, you could probably do a full sheet and then just be able to cut it right to size, but you'd still have like 2 foot section on the plywood. And then you just need some kind of a good wood screws that you can screw this all together. Alright, so let's get started. Even though I got these cut in half at the store, he cut 4 foot pieces, and there's always a little bit of an end on there, so we're just going to trim off the ends of these so that they're all the same size. We're going to cut the bigger pieces in half and make sure that they are the same size. So these are our 6 foot, going to be 6 foot, and the bigger ones are going to be our 4 foot. So we got these pieces. I got to make sure that they're exactly the right size. Alright, so you can either come here and measure it, or what I like to do is I like to take a piece that's the right size. You match it up at the end, and then you can just mark it right there, and you'll pretty much get the same spot. The next step is to take these 8 foot pieces. We're going to cut them into 4 foot lengths. What I'd like to do again is I make a mark here. I'm going to cut this first piece, use it as a template to cut all the other pieces so they're all the same size. So this one's going to be my template. I'm going to just make sure. Okay, that's perfect right there. And I'm just going to start cutting now. Next step is to put together the shelves. So we're going to do 3 of these, and what you're going to do is you're going to make sure we have the 4 foot pieces here. I got 4 of them. You have this 6 foot piece on the outside, and what we're going to do is we're going to measure 2 foot from the edge here, and this is where my supports in between are going to be. So that's going to be 2 foot, and then we're going to go here 4 foot. I'm going to do that on the other side here. Okay, 2 foot, and then 4 foot. That way, when I get back to these, I'm going to see if I can grab one of these without knocking everything over. Okay, so that you want this will go right up against the edge, and then will come out, and then you'll be able to, it will be halfway between this support beam so that I can screw this side in and then the next piece. Now, one other thing is I showed you earlier was that I have a little extension here on the outside, okay, on this side and this side. If you want this to fit perfectly in between the beams, you can always take off 3 inches. 3 inches on all the 4-foot supports. And that extra 3-inch will make this fit perfectly. We wanted the extra little distance, so it just gives us just 3 more inches wide. So we decided to just keep it this way instead of having it matched up perfectly. Alright, I got my first shelf frame done. Now I got to do 2 more of these. We're into the next step. You can do one of 2 things. You can do this at the end or right now. We're going to put these pieces of hardwood plywood on the top of our shelf. The reason why I'm doing them now, last time I did them at the end, but we don't have a whole lot of space in our basement at the top there, so it's kind of hard for me to get in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do it now. So you're just going to line these up. Okay, line it up with the edge, and then it should be between the 2 pieces of plywood, and it kind of just sits right down in there. You'll see that this piece right here, alright, you probably see it better on the next one, but it's halfway between. And then I'm going to take this one and put it here, and they'll all fit into place. Then I'm just going to use my nail gun and quickly go and nail along this to hold it in place. Now when we get into the center, I'm gonna shoot one on the one side, and then I shoot the other one on the other side of the seam. So one on one side, and I kind of zigzag across until I have this totally nailed down. So I'm going to do this with all 3 of our shelves, and then I'll get you to the next step. It's time to get the posts done for the corners, and I'm just going to take 2 pieces, and then I have one here and one here. This is a good time to grab some clamps to hold it down, because I don't want to have any gaps in here when I screw them in. So I just use the clamps to hold them in place. And we're going to do 4 of these, so I have them already all set up here and ready to go. And all you're going to do is screw down the one side. So I'm just going to take the screws and hit right down along the side. I have my 4 posts finished up. Now we're going to put the shelves on, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, and we're going to have it 4 inches off the floor. Then the second shelf is going to be 3 foot above that, which is 3 foot 4 inches, and then the top shelf is going to be 1 inch down from the top. So I'm going to go and measure those things. Now, when you put this shelf together, it's really important. If you notice how these are, you're going to have a shorter side, okay, shorter side right here, and a longer side. I want the shorter side towards the front and the back, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. This might be a little hard to see, but I got one of the shelves here, and if you look down here, alright, I just put it at the 4-inch mark right there on the post, and I clamped it down. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to just put 1 screw to hold it in place for now, because I'm going to stand it up once I get all 3 of these shelves on. And once I get all 3 of these shelves on, I am going to stand it up, and then I'm going to level it, make sure it's plumb, and then put the rest of the screws in. Alright guys, so here's where we're at. We got our 3 shelves on. And now I have to do the other side. So right here I have this up here at the top. I've measured it at the right spots. Okay, and then I'm going to screw it in with one screw, and then we're going to stand this thing up. Also, I'll do on the other side too. So I'll do this side and the other side. Just tapping it in with one screw. I got the shelf up right now. So here's the last step. Now I'm going to put some more. I just put a couple screws in, right, to hold it together. So now I'm going to take a level, and I'm going to level it first on the side, and then I'm going to put screws in up here. Now when I do the screws, I'm going to do kind of like on a diagonal. Alright, diagonal, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, level it, and then put a screw. Then I'm going to do the opposite corner. So I'm going to do this corner, and then I'm going to go over that corner, and then we're going to do this corner and then that corner. And after we get all those screws in, we are done. Here's a quick trick while you're putting these on. If you can see, there's like a little gap in here. So I like to get my clamp in here, and I just tighten it down like that. And once you get it nice and tight, see, there's no more gap, then I'll screw it in. And that way, when you screw it in, you don't end up with little gaps, and this will give it a lot more support. Well guys, we are done our shelves. So you can see, we got bottom shelf, we got it in place. When you do this screws over here to the side, I just wanted to point this out, is normally I would do 2 diagonal ones. This one's a better one. I start out by doing 2 diagonal ones. So you put one in, you level it, you put the other one in, okay, make sure it's level. And then I did that around the whole thing. And then I just came back in here, and then I put kind of like a little square worth of screws. That really makes this thing stable. It's pretty stable if you do 2 screws, but it's really worth the effort to just put the other screws in. Alright guys, well, that's my project for today. I hope you enjoyed this project. Please like this video, share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next video.